Hi, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Today, I want to talk about moving through what we're calling the shift, moving through this breakdown of civilization, moving through the divide, the mass exodus in people's work lives, home lives, this big crack that seemed to open gushing wide post COVID, during COVID, has been going on pre COVID, but now is out in the open like a festering wound that needs to be not just sewn together, but uh, recreated. So I just want to talk about who's going to lead the way, who's going to start to create the new systems, who's going to have the courage, the authority, the connection, the community to start to help heal these system-wide problems that is being exposed now all over the place. We all know that these global industries are having problems and breaking down, and behind the scenes, they're doing things to try to stay afloat and alive, control tactics to all sorts of things. For instance, my desired field is helping to upgrade medical culture. I have lived in the medical system for a very long time from a patient's perspective, but work with physicians and have many friends that are clinicians and healthcare workers. My invested interest is how do we create a healthy environment that not only downstream helps the patients as much as we possibly can. But upstream of that is an environment that the clinicians want to work in. Today, in fact, I met with a group of women, and one of the women works in the healthcare industry, and she, very openly disclosed that before she goes into work, she has to pray, help pray to keep her peace and her mind and her wits, and to not be angry. And I think that this probably is not that uncommon. Not just with people in the healthcare industry, but in people in general with what they're doing for their career and where they're spending their time. So the bottom line is we have choice, and moving away from something that provides us with a sense of stability is always challenging. It's never pleasant. Very, very far and few between are the times where we end something that's unhealthy and immediately have something there, a safety net that we can bounce into that provides us with the same resources or better without any challenge. That's kind of like a fairy tale. So, how do we do this? How do we take the people who have the courage and have decided this is not the environment that I want to be a part of for my life? It's not healthy for me. I'm choosing to make the difficult decision of navigating away from this environment. That's a whole nother issue of how do we even do that? And that's not what I'm here to talk about today. Today, I really want to talk about these individuals who are starting to connect with the right people, starting to find their resonance in community and communities. Usually, these people are finding themselves not just in local communities, but communities around the globe because of the internet. How do we take the things that we've been displeased with in our industry, move away from them, and now create anew? How do we steward this power of building something that's rooted in health and integrity and minimizing and mitigating the distortions that tend to happen? How do we do this? This is a huge question. And if you haven't seen Joe Rogan's latest podcast with one of my favorite humans on earth, Daniel Schmachtenberger and Tristan Harris, who was a part of The Social Dilemma, maybe you saw that on Netflix, I'd suggest you go over to Spotify and take a listen to that. A lot of what Daniel discusses is something that I too am very passionate about. It's if we're going to move into any sort of healthy direction and not self-destruct, how do we do it, and who are the people? What are the qualities within the individuals that are going to steward this authority, leadership sort of quality in creating this participatory environment of building new structures that are healthy? All I can say from my point of view is that I've been working for a long time in the industry of self-awareness. And that's not come from an academic point of view. In fact, it's come from a lot of my subjective experience as somebody who had to live with very severe chronic illness for many years and had a couple of near-death experiences. If you don't know any of my story, I've had 2 organ transplants that stemmed from kidney failure from autoimmune disease. I was able to have the knowledge and wherewithal of some Eastern practices and states of mind prior to going through this, because if I wouldn't have had that, my experience, I think, would have looked very different. But what I'm here to say is I've been working in the industry of self-development and not just talking it and watching it and educating ourselves within this construct, but actually the implementation and embodiment of becoming an emotionally mature, literate person that holds these qualities of healthy masculine and feminine energy within themselves. I talk about this all the time. I think moving forward, we need to find self-balance. We need to work on the things and the ways that we hold ourselves back and we create division in the world to find this more unified state of mind, again, between the right and left hemispheres of the brain, the masculine qualities, the feminine qualities, and find a way to communicate between these 2 hemispheres in a way that we commit ourselves to that process of diligence for the greater good. That requires a lot of self-work. And unfortunately, a lot of us have set ourselves up in an environment that's so tremendously depleting, not only on our physical system, but our emotional and our spiritual system, that we don't have the resilience or the energy it takes to cultivate this sort of process, this journey that we need to go on within the self to evolve. The first step is to not only recognize what we've subjugated ourselves to and how we've complied with certain structures, but then to actually create the space and energy and time to start to commit to the things that most of us know that we need to do. If we continue to subject ourselves to what's unhealthy, you never will have the energy to create what it is that you wish to create. So there has to be a willingness to move away from what's harming us and a willingness to step into the unknown. You have to have this trust and faith. It's just part of the process. We all have had to face this if we've transcended this form of environment into something leading, something that where we're cultivating something better. We've all had to face the trust and faith issue, and to face the fear and why we have the fear, and to still do it anyway. It takes a lot of strength to do that. And then once we're there, it's yet another unknown. The path is still not rolled out for you. You have to continue to have faith and trust as you go along, while you continue to do the self-work, while you continue to find and resonate with the people who are wanting to cultivate the same thing with the same principles that you have. Maybe they're coming from different perspectives, but underlying everything is this tiny little mustard seed of, I'm committed to becoming a healthy steward of energy and authority to build something new. And you will do anything that you need to do to stay in that alignment of commitment to what's coming. So all I have to say is, from my perspective, and the vast majority of what I do and the people that I work with are learning and evolving and taking the necessary steps to commit to become the balanced person to steward this new reality. That's what I'm excited about. These are the people I get excited to connect with, and I look forward to have deep dialectics with. They're interesting. They're all different. They're from different walks of life. They're from different backgrounds, different levels of education, different levels of subjective experience. It's going to take all of us to value what we've experienced and share these stories for us to really embody the new healthy way that we must step into. So, evolving to honor people's experiences, Specifically for me, one of my greatest passion is integrating the subjective experiencer into the healthcare system. So very easily, I've had multiple organ transplants. So to involve an organ transplant patient into the team atmosphere, so the patient and the team can really drastically benefit of what it's actually like without thinking they know what it's actually like for the aggregate population. So I just kind of want to know, like, where are you guys at? Who are you connecting with? Where you find yourself feeling stuck? Are you still entering and complying with environments that you know are really unhealthy for you, and you just think that's all there is and that's how it's always been? Have you taken that step to move out of your unhealthy environments? Are you connecting with new, exciting people who resonate with you, who are looking to self improve in body and are committed to finding the right people, places, and things that reflect that? Just curious to see where you guys are at. So it was really great to be with you today, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll be back soon.